I
So
have to apologize too.
No.
Because I forgot to press this button.
Okay.
Better I call
Ask
it
the
now.
question again.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, that was my fault. My question was, in order for people to understand and be able to trust what's going on over here in Salento, in Puglia, if someone's interested in short-term rentals, what is the best solution in your opinion?
Well, if we have a property available, then we can help them to rent it for a period of a month, 2 months, 3 months. And we arrange a contract, which is a standard legal contract for 29 days. We renew the contract every 29 days. If we are managing the property on the behalf of the owner and the client, which we like to think that that is the scenario, we normally manage to negotiate some really, really good rental deals, probably in the region of 300, 400 euros a month. They can just arrive with a suitcase and just spend 3-4 months in a property that it's totally kitted out.
Now, what if someone wants to use it for a portion of the year? Are there better solutions, or does it still fall within this short-term rental option?
Well, what happens is that a lot of the holiday homes or people that purchase a property, they either want to use it themselves for a period of the year, or they want to maximize their returns during the summer months. So when you talk about a portion, if that portion includes the month of July and August, and even a little bit of June or September, you may find that some of the owners of those properties can be very reluctant. But if somebody's looking at renting it for 6 months, starting from October, potentially moving forward, then we can negotiate exactly the same terms. The process is still the same, so it will be a 29-day contract renewed every 29 days.
Now I have a question in the middle before we switch to long-term, but can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. In your opinion, is this area
Saturated?
Saturated. Yeah. Is the market too saturated to start renting short-term rentals right now?
Well, for short term, we're talking about winter period. We're talking just from October to June in that case. And normally they don't want to rent the properties. Lots of local people that got properties, they want to rent just from June, July up to the end of August, and that's it. That's the season for them. And when sometimes we approach some of these local people for that kind of rental contract, they say no, definitely no. So that's the reason why David has opted for this kind of option, just to give the chance to someone who wants to spend like 4 or 5 months in Salento to get a proper rental contract at a good price and have a property ready and nice for them, because most of the properties are just for summer period, so they're really cold. They're not really adequate for customers that come from America or from England. Just they're not ready for them. So that's the reason why we try to get that kind of option. Yes, there's lots of properties available, but not for the winter period. So you wouldn't get that kind of location.
I've noticed trying to get rentals on near Monopoly, it was like not so many to choose between.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll find just properties with no heating system, like no aircon or anything like that.
And that's because they're trying to manage it themselves?
Manage it by themselves, and plus they want to just rent it for July and August, where they make most of the money.
Well, let's move on to long-term rentals, because that's a whole... I do long-term rentals. I don't have any short-term rentals. And a lot of people are afraid of the laws tied into, I don't know if you know,
yes,
of course you do, right? About eviction law, about squatting rights. It's kind of a scary beast here in Italy. First of all, let's talk about your solution for long-term rentals.
Well, the local market is not really open to long-term rentals. I think when you were asking if the market is saturated, it's quite the opposite. There aren't enough properties for long-term rentals. Probably because the mentality of people in south of Italy, potentially, I'm not sure if it's a local thing, it's that people that rent are not that wealthy. And for that reason, the standard of the rental properties, for me anyway, they're far too low. I think there is a huge gap on the market for long-term rental properties. To probably connect to what I've been doing since I started, my original business model was to create long-term rental because they were working for me. My holiday homes that I started with, they became long rentals. And yes, I do know about eviction laws, and I do know that people sometimes run into difficulties and they can't pay you the rent and whatever else. But the numbers shows that the returns are still good and there is a real gap in the market. So if somebody's looking at renting long term here, they would struggle to find a good, suitable, good quality product. So yes, not saturated at all.
So it's a good solution, but do most people own their property here, or are there people struggling to find rent? I mean, a place to live.
The local market owns properties. The average local person in Puglia, but I would say through Italy, owns a minimum of 2 to 3 properties, one where they live in, and the other 2 or 3 may be derelict because they've been left by the grandmother or somebody. So the idea of refurbishing them and making them available for the rental market is just not there.
How do you think we could attract more people to come and live and create innovation and just an economy? Do you have any ideas? This is my favorite subject because
it's mine too.
I see you're doing it here, and you're trying to create the method for at least there to be housing for them.
Yeah.
Right? You're creating this system. But there needs to be, you mentioned that the renters of this area are low income. Is there a way that we can boost the economies to give a little bit of life down here in Puglia during the rest of the year, not just in August?
I absolutely believe that it's possible, and in fact when I launched the first website in 2018 it was almost like a financial website rather than what it is today. And there are traces, if people navigate the website they can still find from land banking to long-term rentals and case studies, because I've tested it and there is a very big opportunity to tap into a market. And the way to put the economy up would be to fresh blood to come in and make changes. I feel that the world is such a small place now that what is working in London and New York works here in Salento. But obviously the people from Salento will never be able to do it because the mentality is not there, but the world has changed. So you have people still living with their parents, perhaps they're in their mid-20s, they're engaged, but they can't move out, not because they're not able to afford the 300 euros rent, because that would be the local rental value. But because there isn't a product out there at the standard or the quality that they're living with their parents. So they would rather stay with their parents. So we could change that and we can speed up the process by creating a product.
Wow, okay, yeah, I hadn't seen, I mean, I know that people do tend to live with their parents a long time.
Yeah. Not to mention the ones that get divorced today.
Yeah.
And they go from a beautiful house to get kicked out and got
I was going to put the number from 25 to 35 years old even.
I think we can go up.
All right, well thank you for that. I appreciate it. If anybody would like information on them, you can check this description. There's a link that I put there just so you can contact them directly. Just if you've got any questions, make sure you really dig in, make these guys work hard, because it sounds like they know a lot and they're ready to serve from what I can tell. We're going to see more properties in the future videos. We're going to go check out some of his own and perhaps some ruins. I don't know, I haven't explored the ruins in this area, so hopefully we can find something cool. Anyway, thanks everybody, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel, but subscribe to this one if you haven't as well. Thanks everyone, check you later.
A big thank you to DauvO for visiting us and interviewing us and really taking the time to see what we are building and constructing here in Salento. Please visit his YouTube channel, the link is below, and subscribe.